I say this once a day as well. I go, there's always someone who fucking ruins it. Do you know? Like, we were on a flight to San Francisco a while ago, me and Jane, right? We took off, right? First class, seatbelt signs, ding, drinks are served, lovely. Then this woman, about 2 rows back, she gets out her laptop, she starts banging out something really important. She's wearing fucking bangles. They're like smashing it's driving me, it sounded like fucking Morris dancing, right? It was driving me, but I know it's not illegal, you know, I can't go over bangle police, so I just have to suffer in silence and hope we crash. That is how I get over things now. If someone's really annoying me, I just sort of stare at them and I just imagine us both dead one day. And it's sort of, you know, like here I was thinking, imagine the pilot going, we're going to, the plane was going down, right, we're going to die. And I look over it and she's going, and I go, and then the plane just smashes into a mountain and we're all fucking burnt. But I live 1 second long enough just to look over and see her totally fucked. Whatever gets you through, you know. So we got to San Francisco and we went on a little day trip. We went to this place called Sausalito, this lovely little harbour town. We're walking around sightseeing, but about 11 a.m, because of the jet lag, we were starving. We thought, we need lunch. So we found this restaurant that was open at 11 a.m, empty, of course, which is my idea of a perfect restaurant, empty, right? We sat by the window, we were looking out over the bay. There was a sea lion bobbing round, a pelican landed. The waiter brings our food. Then suddenly, in all that peace and perfection, out of the kitchen doors comes a busboy, and he just stands in this empty restaurant, and he goes, I looked at him, I looked at Jane. Jane didn't even look up. She just went, nothing we can do. Like that. So I'm all alone, right? And the sweat starts. I just get a sweat, right? I go, okay, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. Sure enough, I bang my fork against the plate and I just look at him like that. And Jane goes, he doesn't know why you're staring at him. I go, I want him to know. I want him to go, you okay? I go, not really. You know, you keep doing that, right? Jane goes, for heaven's sake, he's a busboy. He's at work. Let's just eat and go. So meal ruined, right? And I wasn't allowed to do anything, right? So this is how I got through the last 10 minutes of that meal. It's absolutely true, right? I'm eating. Every time he went, I went, cunt! That is what you get. That is what you get. I did want this show to be more highbrow than this. Joking aside, I think this is my most honest and confessional show so far. Not in a Edinburgh Fringe type way. I mean, my parents died, so I went all autistic. None of that shit, right? My parents did die, but I'm pretty sure I'm not autistic, because once someone gave me a Rubik's Cube and I put it straight in the fucking bin. I think that is the test. No, it's called Mortality, but it's a positive show, I think, and I want to tell you some of the things I've learned and what it's like to be me at this age, and because I'm getting old now. See, that silence for the first year. Up until this year, I go, I'm getting old. People go, you're not old. Now they go, go on. Like that. It's like, in fact, they make it worse. They say things like, yeah, but the good. Another big fear amongst the youth is climate change. They're really worried about global warming. And I looked into it, and if the polar ice caps completely melt, the sea level will go up about 60 metres around the world. So all coastal areas will be affected a bit, but the real devastation, the real loss of life, will be in places like China and India. So relax. It's fine. But we all suffer from a bit of mental illness. We're all on the spectrum, aren't we? We've all got a little bit of OCD or anxiety or whatever. Like I'm a hypochondriac, right? Every morning I wake up and I think, right, what's wrong? Like I go, what's that? That wasn't there yesterday. That was, what's that? What's that? And I Google it. I think, what? And I catastrophize as well. So I Google it and the first sort of like 5 or 6 I'm fine with. Like it goes, it could be anxiety, yeah, could be lack of sleep, yeah, I didn't sleep. Could be lack of fibre, yeah, I'll have some more fibre. Could be lack of vitamin B, I'll get it. And then I just keep pushing me, like it goes, could be cancer. I go, it's cancer. Once I came out of the bathroom and I went, Jane, I think I've got bowel cancer. She went, we had beetroot last night. I go, oh yeah, cheers. I want to end with a couple of true stories, if I may. As I said, I think this is my most honest and confessional show so far. So I want to talk about something I haven't talked about before, and that's to give you a glimpse behind the curtain of the Golden Globes. Right? And thank you. I last hosted the Golden Globes in 2020. It was the 5th time over a 10-year period, and I liked them more and more, and the last one was my favourite, because the world changed in that 10 years. You know, like the first time I hosted them in like 2010, the press of America, I hated me. Right? Who is this annoying Brit insulting the most important people on the planet? By the last time I hosted, they were like, yeah, go on, fuck them. Fuck them, right? Because ordinary people had got sick and tired of being lectured by these multi-millionaire, nothing wrong with that, these liberal elite entertainers telling them how to vote and how to recycle, when everyone knew they were getting free jet rides to Pedo Island. So it really hit the zeitgeist. But it was always the same deal. Whenever they said, do you want to host? I said, yeah, I'll host. I said, but I'm going to write all my own jokes, which was unheard of, apparently. I said, I'm going to write all my own jokes, and I'm not going to rehearse, so you can't hear the jokes beforehand, you can't cancel any. And they let me do that. I did have to show a lawyer the jokes about an hour before to make sure I hadn't broken any laws, and I never had, because I know the law. Sometimes the lawyer would go, are you sure you want to say that? Right? And I go, is it legal? They go, yep, technically. I go, let's do it. Right? I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes. That says something about them, to be fair, right? So, anyway, thank you. This last time, they said, oh, you've got to see the lawyer the day before now. I went, OK, great. So I was driven to the Beverly Hills Centre, and they're all setting up, right? And the photos of the A-listers are all in their chairs. I go, oh, there's Brad. Oh, so childish. It's so childish. But I hope you agree it was a positive show. It wasn't about death, it was about life. And some people are so worried about dying, they forget to live. And some people are so scared to do something. Oh, no, that's dangerous, that's dangerous. All the most fun things are dangerous. Roads are dangerous. Alcohol is dangerous. Alcohol is a poison. I should know. I sell it. Dutch barn. Right? So, yes. Right. Alcohol gives you brain disease, liver disease, kidney disease, heart disease, mental illness, but it does loosen you up at parties. So... think of all the babies born through alcohol, yeah. Many of them deformed if the mother carried on drinking. But the good thing about being born deformed is, you... Hear me out. The good thing about being born deformed is you can start drinking at a much younger age and no one gives you... Do you know what I mean? You see a normal kid drinking, you go, you little bastard. You see a deformed kid drinking, you go, yeah, go on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. You're 8 or 9, you've had 27 painful operations, you've met Ollie Murs, have a drink, you know. Well, as you can see, I've run out of quality material. But you've been absolutely amazing. Thank you and good night. That's another thing I'm very proud of. I can honestly say, in almost 64 years, I have never shat myself once. So, no, don't... No. No! Right. Yeah. Oh, why do you like London so much, Rick? Because you get a round of applause for not shitting yourself. Right. But that's the next phase now. I reckon it's the next 10 years that I will. But as of now, my arsehole has never let me down. Very underrated, the human arsehole. Everyone goes, oh, the human brain, the greatest computer known to man. Oh, the human liver can regenerate itself. Your arsehole is working 24/7. Even when you're asleep, it's like that. You're not coming out. You're not coming out. You're not coming out. Nope. You're not coming out. And you're not coming in. Because it's like a sewer in there, isn't it? But you've got a lovely little manhole cover. Think of that in real life. Walking along a pavement, it's lovely pavement. If that burst, and you know what's in a sewer, don't you? Piss, and shit and cum and dead goldfish, and fetuses in China. Just the girl ones. Relax. I'm at that age now as well, because I'm in entertainment. People say, oh, you can have a facelift. I go, no. Have you seen facelifts? They're still just that. Like that. You know what I mean? You go to the doctor, and the doctor goes, do you want to look old or Chinese? You know, it's like, nothing wrong with looking Chinese if you're Chinese. If you're not Chinese, it's a bit weird. It's offensive. But why is that allowed? You're not allowed to black up. Why can you do that? Maybe there are terms and conditions to make sure you're never that racist. Like the doctor goes, right, we've done the eyes, but never leave the house in a little... Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh. Thank you. Okay. Okay, shush. Thank you. Honestly, I'm overwhelmed, but shush. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome to the show. It's great to be back with a brand new special. My last special only dropped on Netflix the Christmas before last. And in that special, I talked about the previous special going to #1 because of all the complaints. And the silly cunts did it again. When will they learn? It's like, honestly, it's like, ban it from the #1 everywhere. My name trended for 3 days that Christmas. I wasn't you know the comedian Rosie Jones? She's got cerebral palsy, and she was on a TV quiz show, and the trolls came out on Twitter going, she's not funny. People saying, you're only saying that because she's disabled. You're only defending her because she's disabled. Sort of back and forth, right? But that wasn't her biggest controversy of the year. This is a true story. Earlier that year, Rosie Jones made a documentary for Channel 4 about her condition, her plight, some of the trolling she gets, some of the insults she gets called, right? And she provocatively called the documentary, Am I a Retard? Yeah, great. Power to her, right? Now, the people who complained were disability campaigners. They had to go at her. They went, you can't use that word. She went, what? Why? I said, because you're physically disabled. That's a derogatory term for people with mental disabilities. If you want to use a derogatory term, you should use one that describes your particular condition. So basically, Rosie Jones said, am I a retard? And disability campaigners said, no, you're a spastic. That's harsh, isn't it? I mean, it's context. She was using it to empower people. She was called that. She didn't go, no, that's not me. She sort of embraced it and, reclaimed the word. So disability campaigners are saying, no, you've got to be very specific, right? Only people who are actually retarded can use the word retard, right? But who's going to tell them? You know what I mean? Who's going to... You're not going to go into a room and there's Bubba sort of lying on the floor, crying in, right? And you go, all right, Bubba. He goes, yeah. Oh, no. Don't. It's a tightrope. He goes, yeah. You go, you can say retard. Why? Think, you thick cunt. Just think. Anyway, I think she should be allowed to use the word in context. Like, if she can't use the word, then I've used the word now, so I'm in trouble. People say, oh, he used the word so-and-so. I didn't use the word. Using the word would be calling someone that word. That's using the word, isn't it? I said the word in a discussion about the fucking word. That should be allowed, shouldn't it, amongst adults? And if there's one thing we should all agree on, whatever side of the political fence you're on, we should all agree that free speech is still a really good thing. It always has been. And it always will be. But now there's factions of people go, oh, no, we got it, we don't like it, we've changed our mind, it wasn't going well for us, we don't like free speech anymore. People who want free speech, they only want free speech so they can go around saying awful things, which just isn't true. And even if it was, the good thing about free speech is people can say awful things back. It's a really good system, right? And you can't say anything under the laws of free speech. That's a total misconception. There are loads of caveats to free speech, all of which I agree with, actually. You can't incite violence. Good rule. You can't slander people. Good rule. You can't libel people, you know? Fascinating fact about libel law. You can't libel the dead. So I could stand here and say, Gandhi used to take it up the arse. If I wanted. Which I do. But free speech is the most important human right there is. It's the right from which all other rights come. Without free speech, you couldn't have human rights, you know, and we've got free speech, in theory, in this country, for a little while longer. We can criticise the government, we can criticise the police, but we should give props to a country that allows us to do that, because we're the envy of some countries. In some countries, you criticise the police, you get beaten up, or worse. You criticise the government, you can be thrown in jail for life, you know. So they flee their oppression, quite rightly. You know, so would you. They flee their oppression, and they come here, they go, we want to come to England. We go, why? They go, free speech. We go, come on in, welcome. What are you going to do now? We're going to go on a march. What are you going to say? How shit England is. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. That is their right. But I'm too old now not to say what I want, you know. I want to say and do what I want all the time. I don't even like doing my second favourite thing if I think I could be doing my favourite thing. Do you know what I mean? Like my favourite thing is play tennis. I play every Friday. I keep Fridays free. I look forward to it. I play tennis. It sets me up for the week. So if ever on a Friday I have to do my second favourite thing, like 3 weeks ago, attend a neighbour's kid's funeral, I'm like, this is boring. But we all want respect, right? We all want respect, and we all want to raise our status in society. We can't help that. That's in our evolution. That's group selected from when gossip used to control the tribes, right? And there's still 2 ways you can raise your status in society. One, be competent at something. Like, oh, he's a good hunter. Go with him. He's good for the tribe. The other way you can raise your status is have virtue. Like, oh, he's not a great hunter, but he's wise or kind or whatever, you know. And then, with the advent of social media, people suddenly discovered they could just say they were virtuous. No evidence, no proof, just loads of flags in their bio, right? And they would raise their status by bringing other people down, catching other people out. Oh, look what he said. Oh, he's not as virtuous as me. Look how good I am. Look how bad. And that's where the term virtue signalling comes from, right? And I hate it when they bring their kids into it. You can believe what you want, have opinions what you want, vote how you want, but go on a march, great. But when I see a 5-year-old holding a placard, he doesn't know what that says. That's the adult, you know. Like I saw someone tweet this once. Someone tweeted, my 4-year-old just looked up at me and said, Mummy, why does Rishi Sunak hate poor people? Never fucking happened, right? But the most annoying thing about virtue signalling is it's people being smug about having the morality of the age. You're what you're like because of where you are and when you are. Like, it's not brave of me to be an atheist in this country, in this year. It would have been brave 200 years ago, or mental. Right? And it'll be brave in some other countries, or mental. Right? But people say things like, oh, I'm anti-racist. Yeah, well done. We all are. We know that's the way to be now, but it wouldn't have always been. Well, if you'd have been born in a different place or time, maybe you wouldn't. They go, no, I'd been anti-racist whenever I was born. Well, people say things like, they go,
what are the lessons that you learned?
The truth doesn't hurt. Whatever it is, it doesn't hurt. It's better to know the truth. I remember, my mum only lied to me about one thing. She said there was a God, and but that's because when you're a working class mum, Jesus is like an unpaid babysitter. Do you know what I mean? It's just sort of like, she wants you to be good. You know, the best of working class mum where I grew up she wasn't hoping I'd be a doctor or a lawyer. She hoped I wouldn't be stabbed to death in a barroom fight, you know. So the best thing to do is, well, if he's God-fearing, then he'd be good. It's a good rule of thumb because, you know, I went to Sunday school from about the age of 4 till 8. There was just great teachings of Jesus. I loved Jesus. He was my superhero. He really was. God was magic, right? But Jesus was just a man. And what I loved about Jesus was he was kind.
and he was brave, and I thought he was amazing, and I thought he was brilliant, like just a brilliant guy, you know. So I was about 8, and my brother must have been 19. He came in once, and I was doing something from the Bible, and I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, drawing Jesus," and he went, "Who was Jesus?" And I said, "Well, he was the Son of God." He went, "Why do you believe in God?" Right? And my mum went, "Bob, shut up." And I knew she had something to hide, and he was telling the truth. And I knew from body language, and then I worked it out, and I was an atheist in an hour.
In an hour?
Yeah. It's true. I wish there was a God. I wish there was. It would be great. What I've heard, he's brilliant, you know. But you can't believe in something you don't. Also, if there is a God, why did he make me an atheist? That was his first mistake. Well, the talking snake was his first mistake, but...
Well, also for you, because anyone who follows you on Twitter, and you have a huge following, they'll know that you are a pathological atheist, and therefore the thought of death is very final for you. And for me, as a good Irish Catholic boy, it's the start of something new and glorious. For you, that's it.
For me, it's the end of something glorious, so I have to pack it all in. But, you know, I'm not depressed about it. I don't want to die any more than anyone else. And I think there's this strange myth that atheists have nothing to live for. It's the opposite. We have nothing to die for.
You have more to live for.
We have everything to live for.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would imagine you have a more focused attention to life because you think it ends when you die.
I think it's precious. I think it's beautiful. I think the world is amazing. I love people, animals, art, every hobby. I can't believe my luck that I'm alive for these 70 or 80 years. Might be less. Wait, you know, I'm not long for this world. My nan used to say that. She lived till 83. I think it was 40 years we were going, I'm not long for this world.
What are you said the things you like. What are the things that really annoy you?
Only two things really make my blood boil, I suppose. I suppose in general, as I get older, injustice. Injustice quietly makes my blood boil. Either personal, social, political, you know, personal. I suppose the two main categories are religious intolerance, this arrogance that you think, you know, arguing over whose God is right, it sort of gets me down a little bit, you know. And I've got no problem with spirituality. I really haven't. You know, that's another myth. And I always try and make the difference clear between spirituality and religion. One is a very personal feeling, a journey, a hope, or whatever, a need, you know, a joy. And the other is an organised body that uses that for power and corruption in many cases. In many cases. And you know, I don't have either, but I suppose I think that when it affects me, that's when I have a say in it. And religion affects me. Religion's very real. Spirituality, it doesn't really affect me.
Supernature. Why supernature? Well, for two reasons. One, I want to debunk the supernatural. I don't believe in anything supernatural. I believe that anything that exists is by definition part of nature and is explainable. If not now, then eventually. Also, supernature, because nature is super enough, you know. It's amazing that we're even here discussing it. We're the only species that allows the universe to understand itself, right? The chances of us being here at all, the chance of you being you, existing now, the chance of that sperm hitting that egg, is 400 trillion to 1. And I think life is like a holiday. We don't exist for 13.5 billion years. Then we have these 80, 90 years if we're lucky. Then we die, never to exist again. And some people are even offended by that. They go, you can't say that. It can't be chance. It's too good. Someone must have made it all. And, you know, I'm too special. I can't just not exist. I'll live again. I'll go to heaven, I'll be with my friends and family, or I'll come back as a spirit and I'll walk amongst you, or I'll be reincarnated, I'll come back as someone else. That'd just be someone else. That's all that's happened. You're not involved. That is just someone else, right? Many people believe in reincarnation, of course. Some people even claim they remember who they were in a previous life. There's a society in America, of course, in California, of course, right? And they remember who they were in a previous life. And they're always someone pretty special in their previous life. Not so much in the life they've got now, right? But I saw a documentary about it, and every year they have a come as you were party, where they go dressed as the person they were in history. 2 Napoleons. So, at least one of them is fucking lying. No reincarnation. No ghosts. Have you seen all the ghost hunter shows? Oh my God, hundreds of ghost hunter shows. Years and years. Celebrity ghost hunter. All around the world. Thousands and thousands of hours of footage. They've never seen a fucking ghost. Not what. It's all like, oh, what was that? Was it that I was just the... No, not the... Oh, did you hear that? Was it just... Oh, was it you? Oh, no, no. Imagine if wildlife programmes were like that. Imagine watching David Attenborough all these years, and everybody goes, here, on Kilimanjaro, we see the... Oh, that's not... And by the banks of the Limpopo, the elusive... Oh, that's not... You'd stop watching the cunt. I've never seen a ghost. The pedo hunter shows, on the other hand... There's usually a couple in the crew, just in case, you know what I mean? Particularly if it's a BBC production. Oh, shut up. There's no reincarnation, no ghost, no heaven, I believe. People can't get over that. People quiz me on Twitter when they find out I'm an atheist. They go, what, you don't believe in God at all? I go, no. Do you pray? I go, no. They go, why don't you pray just in case there's a God? And I say, why do you put garlic over your door just in case there's a Dracula? Right? And I've got no problem with praying, you know. I know loads of nice Christians and Muslims and Jews, and if one of my family is very ill, they always say, oh, I'll pray for them. And I always say, oh, thanks very much, because it's a nice gesture. If they said, oh, we also cancelled the chemotherapy, I go, don't do that, don't do that. Pray, fill your boots, son, but let's do the praying and the chemotherapy, shall we? Because that's the same result as just the chemotherapy. So let's definitely keep that one, shall we? I got in trouble talking about praying on Twitter once. Do you remember a few years ago that terrible disaster in Oklahoma, the hurricane? People lost their lives and their livelihood, and I donated to the Red Cross, and I tweeted about it with a link saying you can donate here too, trying to help them with their drive. And one of those sort of frivolous entertainment magazines from America, their account tweeted this thing. It really annoyed me. They tweeted, Beyonce and Rihanna send prayers to Oklahoma. And I tweeted back going, oh, I feel like a cunt, I only sent money. Someone tweeted me once, would you come to the bedside of a dying child and tell them there's no heaven? I tweeted back, is it a paid gig? I don't care whether you believe or not, what you believe in, who you pray to. Doesn't affect me. I just think that nature is super enough, you know? I don't think we need angels and unicorns. We've got the fucking octopus. That actually exists. 8 legs, 9 brains, 3 hearts and a beak. Make your fucking mind up. What are you doing? The duck-billed platypus, a monotreme. When scientists first found that, they thought it was a hoax. Because it produces eggs and milk. It could make its own custard. It doesn't, but it could. It could. It definitely could. But I've been an atheist since I was about 8 or 9. And when I went to secondary school, by then I knew about natural selection, the Big Bang Theory, carbon dating, and the Earth was 4 billion years old. And so my poor RE teacher, I was the bane of his life. And looking back, he was a bit thick, right? He was one of those teachers that I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll just keep my head down. You know what I mean? He came in on a motorbike and played table tennis all day with the div kids just to keep, you know what I mean? You know the sort, don't you? And he hated me. He hated me because I was smart and I wouldn't let him get away with any bollocks, right? So when he said things like, and God made the heaven and the earth in 6 days, and the earth is 5,000 years old. No, it isn't. No, it's 4 billion years old. Why? How could he do that? God can do anything. Well, why did he do it in 6? Why did he do it in 5? Let's push him a little bit. Let's, you know. And he was saying that everything that happens, God does. He's done everything. Everything that happens, he means to happen. He's on top of it. He's everywhere. And everything he does is good. And I went, well, that's clearly not true either. Why are newborn babies taken from their parents? They're innocent. Why are some people born into abject poverty? And he went, because God moves in mysterious ways. That is the theological equivalent of going, look over there. Ooh. It's not an answer, is it? We swear on the Bible in a court of law still. And if the judge was to say to you, how do you account for the fact you say you're home asleep at midnight, but we found your DNA at the scene of the crime? And you went, I move in mysterious ways. Good night, it won't wash. This is how stupid this teacher was. A kid asked him, he said, sir, why do we swear on the Bible in a court of law? Clearly, the answer is, if you believe in God, if that's your God, you believe in him, you believe he's watching you, you get a guilt trip, you don't lie. He hadn't worked that out. So thinking on his feet, he said, because every law of the land is mentioned in the Bible. I went, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. He went, no, it is. Somewhere in the Bible, every law of this land is mentioned. I went, what, even video piracy, you fucking... One critic, who I know is religious, said, oh, Gervais deconstructs the Bible. That's too easy. I'm thinking, well, it shouldn't be. If you believe in that, you think it's a serious doctrine, it shouldn't be too easy to deconstruct. You can't do it with a maths book. You can't look through a book and go, listen to this. Listen to go, oh. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. What cunt wrote that? He said that God is everywhere and in everything. He's solidly through the universe. And I came prepared. I thought, this'll end it. I came in like a little smart ass and went, sir, is God in a vacuum which has been scientifically proved to have nothing in it? He went, yep. That's it. I thought, well, I can't win then. So I started saying, is he up my arse? Is he up your arse? The clever stuff hadn't worked. I was going, sir, is God up all our arses? Including Richard Gere's. It must be crowded up there, mustn't it? The New Testament is founded on the belief that Jesus is half man, half God, born of a virgin womb. And I think that particular little rumour came about with Mary on the back foot. Awkward questions about the old pregnancy from Joseph. You're pregnant? You haven't been... No way. Well, how could this have happened then? 2 ways. One... I know. Remember when I was washing in the Sea of Galilee? And I splashed up some spunky water? No? Spunky water. What about the baby is half God? And everyone went, yeah, all right. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. And if you believe in God, you're wrong. Everyone is entitled to their opinion.
No. If you had to pick a god,
yeah.
who would you pick?
Thor.
I said you can't pick Stan Lee, but okay, so why Thor?
Big hammer.
Is there any part of the Jesus story or the Jesus teachings that you like?
I love Jesus. I thought he was great. I grew up, I was Christian till I was about 8.
8?
And yeah.
That's pretty early to toss out the baby Jesus with the bathwater. What turned you around there, kid?
I remember I was doing Bible studies and my brother came in, he was older than me, he was about 11 years older than me, and he said, why do you believe in God? And my mum went, Bob, and I knew she was stopping him telling me something, and I just thought about it, and within about an hour, I'd sort of worked it out.
So it's his fault. So it's, oh, okay, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did. No, I like the idea of it. I love the idea of you know, Jesus.
You like the Sermon on the Mount?
I like Jesus, not because he was half God or whatever it is.
Half God?
Well, I don't know, do I? I don't know. But what was he? All God, wasn't he?
Yeah. God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten, not made, one of being with the Father. Through him all things were made. It's just a parlor trick. It's just a parlor trick.
Yeah.
It's a crowd pleaser. I do the Nicene Creed to warm up the audience every night.
I know.
Yeah. We're going to do profession of faith and everything. We're going to do the
I like the idea of
doxology.
it. I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
I like the fact he was a kind person and all
Sure.
that. But as Gandhi said, I like your Christ. I do not like your Christians. They are so unlike your Christ. And I think the problem is
I'll buy that.
No, do you know what I mean? Though
No, sure.
But I've always said
I'm a Christian. I'm totally un-Christ-like.
There are good and bad. There are good and bad Christians. There are good and bad atheists. And I think that God has nothing to do with whether you're good or not. That's what I think.
So if God doesn't give you comfort, what does?
Dogs.
That's lovely.
I believe in dogs.
It's God spelled backwards.
Dogs are amazing. Dogs are amazing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that unconditional love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as your guy. No, I'm just being honest. I mean, I can't see there could be a God. I mean, spirituality and religion are two different things. Don't forget. I can't make myself believe something I don't believe. I wish there was a God. And I wish he was all the things people said he was, all powerful and kind and all that. But by definition, the impossibility is overwhelming to me. And then there's religions which use that truth for their own personal gain, and that's something else, and that's abhorrent and disgusting. Religious fascism is the only thing apart from animal cruelty that gets my blood boiling. But people believing in God doesn't worry me at all. I live by Christian values, I suppose. I live by, or any religious values that preaches forgiveness and do as you would be done by, and I just do it for different reasons. I do it because I think this is my only time on earth, and I should enjoy it and be part of it and celebrate it and be nice to everyone, because we're animals who need to be loved and lead a decent life. If you believe in God and that gets you through and it makes you a nicer person, then so be it. But I don't believe. And I feel sometimes that atheists, and I am atheist, not agnostic. One of the few things I'm sure of in life. I think they get a bad press that we take the art out of beauty and the world, which is not true. The fact that, the Earth is 4.6 billion years old, and, there are 4 million species of animal, and they've evolved by accident, is, I think, more beautiful.
But I also think, Ricky, that there is a social consequence to I don't necessarily want to say atheism, because I completely agree with your point that there's good and bad, in beyond those kind of limited taxonomies. But I do feel like when people think there's no purpose or meaning, and that needn't necessarily be just because of a belief in God, that it creates cultures that are oddly materialistic, nihilistic. And I feel like in the last 20 years we're seeing more and more worship of self, worship of individual.
Of course, there's a new narcissism, of course, and I don't know why. I think social media is partly to blame. I think people being rewarded for bad behaviour is partly to blame. Magazines or TV or whatever. I did a speech in the Big Brother house as Andy Millman in Extras, and again, that was at the beginning of it, and now it's got worse. But couple of points. I do think there's people crave a oneness, even if we don't go about understanding about why we're here, because again, that's very human. We're inquisitive. We want to know why. We want the answer why, and some people don't accept. Well, we don't know yet, but we're on the way. They go, no. Well, that's no. The God of the gaps. We understand that. Well, if you don't know how to explain it, God did it. Okay, well, it doesn't really solve anything. Even down to the, I put a joke in Afterlife where Kath's bothering me, and she says, "Where did it all come from? Somewhere from nothing."
And I go, well, where did it all come from then? She go, God made it. I go, okay, where did God come from? She went, he's always been around. I go, simple as that, innit? So, you know, it doesn't answer the question, but I get it. And I think, apart from people wanting there to be some sort of divine justice, because that would be great. Good people would be rewarded and bad people would be punished. Brilliant. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You know, you only have to look at, you know, children in Africa being born with cancer, and that, you know, we know that's not. We know mysterious ways isn't an explanation. Okay, that to me is someone who doesn't know the answer and says mysterious ways. But apart from that, you're right. We're seeking the answer. Why are we here? I think we think that. Hold on. Well, it's too good. It's too good to be chance. Everything's perfect. Well, it seems that way. You know, it's like Douglas Adams' puddle. You know, when it imagines this, I fit this hole perfectly. But I think you're right. We are scared and alone, and the idea of death is horrible. What, you'll never exist again? What was the point? And again, I talk about this in Afterlife 1, where I say, Kath's saying that if you think it's, you know, there's no heaven, why don't you kill yourself? And I say, so if you're watching a really good film, but you know it's going to end, you might as well just stop it. She went, no, because I can watch it again. And I say, I think that's the amazing thing about life. You can't watch it again. You know, one day you'll hug, you know, your mum for the last time. You'll smell your last flower. You'll eat your last meal. You won't know it's your last, but it will be your last. And so you've got to make the most of everything. And it is a terrifying prospect. It is like sad that we'll never exist again, I think. But it doesn't mean it's not true. You know, the bottom line is, I can't believe something I don't believe. And so how do I find meaning? Well, we are here. We are here. The chances of us being us, you being you and me being me, existing now, that sperm hitting that egg is 400 trillion to 1. You know, we're not special, but we are lucky. We do exist. It's incredible. And I think of it, it's like a holiday. We don't exist for 13.5 billion years. Then we explode into this mass, this electronic blob of thought, introspection, love, hate, fear, beauty, horror, for 80, 90, 100 years if we're lucky. Then we die and we never exist again. We return, our atoms return, and it carries on, right? And that's not scary, because I think people are scared of death because they don't know what's beyond. And someone said to me, well, what do you think it feels like when you die? And I say, like the 13.5 billion years before I was born. And that was all right. So, but the big thing is injecting meaning. I think you're totally right. When you start thinking about it, why are we here? Well, I mean, not even the how, but why? Well, to live your life to the fullest and not hurt anyone, to leave the world in a better place than it was when you came into it, to experience everything, all the reasons, all the obvious reasons, you know, love, wine, dogs, learning, all these great things that you can do every minute of every day that you're alive, and then you check out. You go, I'm done, thanks, and it's done, and it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. I read that to Carl Pilkington, right? Who is yes, head like a fucking orange. I know, yeah. And I read that bit to him. They are so wicked, I have to wipe my face to the earth. And Carl said, he sounds gay. I said, what do you mean? He went, some gays are a bit like that. He thought God was like having a hissy fit. Like he's like, no, they treat me like a bastard, I'm going to treat them like a bastard, I'm going to show them, I'm going to wipe them out. I said, Carl, God is not gay, okay? Read the Bible, he hates them. They are so wicked, I will have to wipe them off the face of the earth. And every living thing with them. What's the squid ever done? Really? It's gone mad. What? But he's not gay. God is not gay. But there was one man who was still very good. His name was Noah. He was a friend of God. Just a friend, so don't know. Just a friend. A friend with big hooped earrings. Rouge. What's he doing? He lives in a cave. What's he doing with this? What are you doing? Seeing God. You never know. Handlebar moustache. Holding God's hand. Who's wearing a blouse? God is not gay. God said to Noah, I am so angry with men. You mean men and women? Whatever. I am so angry with men that I have made my mind up to destroy them all. I have stretched my bow in the sky. It is a rainbow. That's got to be the world's first pun, hasn't it? It will make so much rain pour down on earth that everything will be drowned, but not you. I think religion's greatest trick wasn't convincing some people that there was a God who was all-powerful. It was convincing everyone else that